Hello, welcome to Caesar Snack Sandwich. Today we're going to take a look at SWELL Network. Now, SWELL Network is yet another liquid staking ETH 2.0 system or protocol or whatever you want to call these things. But there's some key features in here that set it across or set it different than the other options out there like Lido and Rocket Pool and so forth. And I've got a flowchart to show you how this thing works, but I'll just take a quick scan through the page here. Now, the days have been pretty hectic recently, like the market's been pretty bad, and I've been looking for some places to put my ETH, and we want to diversify. We want to put our ETH in different places. You don't want to put it all in Lido, right? You never know what might happen, right? So I started looking at this, and I think it's pretty interesting, and I think you guys can consider it and take a look at it as well. It's pretty good. Like, it looks pretty good. It has potential on it. Now, they do say that they will be able to give you higher rewards than other places, and I'll show you how that might happen inside the flowchart. They have quite a bit of backing. Like, if you pause the video here and look at some of these names, I'm sure if you're in crypto for 5 minutes, you will recognize quite a few of these people. You can become a node operator through them, of course, and there's just a bit more things. They have quite a few audits already, and there's a few more in the pipeline as well, and so forth. So there's no docs. The Medium articles are not great yet. They're not fully hashed out, but you can read through the Medium articles as well. I'll put a link to this in the description. You can read it and try to verify what I'm saying, but I would just kind of follow the Mediums or follow their Twitter, and then you can know a little bit more of what's going on. So let's swing over to the flowchart, and I will go through that and talk about how this system is different than the other staking protocols. Okay, so here we are on the flowchart, and here we have several actors. Here we have Dollar Bill. He has some ETH he wants to stake into the Beacon chain. Here we have Boosted Bill. He also wants to stake into the Beacon chain. And then here we have a dev or a node operator, a person who wants to operate a node and get the rewards for operating that node. Okay, now these two guys are kind of different, but I've just put them both here to illustrate the differences between the current choices and the SWELL Network choices. Okay, so let's first talk about the node. So if the node wants to turn on a node, the node operator wants to spin up a node, he needs to stake 32 ETH. Okay, and maybe he doesn't want to put that much risk or that much capital inside there, but that's currently what happens. If he wants to have a node, he needs 32 ETH to turn on the node. Okay. So over here we have Boosted Bill, and he's going to use, I'm just going to use this fake one, CEAZOR's Liquid Staking 2. Okay, so he gives his ETH to CEAZOR's Liquid Staking 2, and this protocol here stakes it into the node to gain some rewards, right? So it delegates to the node for some rewards. Now, these different nodes have different setups. So the different protocol, you'd have to research them, like Rocket Pool and all of these other, like, Lido and stuff. They all have different setups. So, but some of them, they're generally one of these kind of options, right? So which node do they give it to? They might give it to the next node in the line, or they might give it to the node that has the least amount staked, or they might take your ETH and spread it across all the nodes. And you don't really know where your ETH is going, but you give it to them, and they take care of it, right? They give it across, so that you don't really get to see what happens back here, so to speak, okay? Because it's kind of like a centralized system, okay? Kind of, okay? Now they do give you back, usually they give you back some sort of like a share token, some sort of token that kind of just says, yeah, like you gave us some ETH, like a receipt token. And this thing has different features, which I will get into in a second, okay? Now, on the SWELL side, it's a little bit different, okay? So you would stake your ETH, and in its atomic transaction, and you get to choose the node from the list of nodes that are on the SWELL system or in the SWELL network. So when I say atomic transaction, basically is your ETH is all in one transaction will end up staked in that node as delegated to that node, and that single transaction will show all of the steps. Okay, so they have these atomic transactions that are very transparent, and they give you the validator info. Now again, they give you back a share token which is pegged 1-to-1 to ETH, right? But they also mint you up a NFT that kind of holds this information about the node that you have. So all the information of the node that you've chosen is inside that NFT, okay? Now, a node operator might also want to use the SWELL network instead of using his own. Now, why would he want to do that? Because he could use 16 ETH instead of 32 ETH to spin up a node through SWELL network. Now, I'm not sure if he can get a discount if he uses some of these other options over here, but I do know for a fact that SWELL will allow him to use 16 ETH for now, and then as this network grows and becomes more robust and there are more and more people who wish to deposit, then they will decrease this 16 ETH all the way maybe even down to 1 ETH, okay? Now, some of the other features they get is because the person who stakes, because Dollar Bill, when he stakes through SWELL, he gets to choose the node, okay? So these nodes can then become branded. They can give themselves a name, and they can, have maybe a Discord and have some sort of community around them so that they can encourage people to use their node, right? And then they can also set the commission rate. So you, as a shopper at SWELL Network, you can see what these people are charging, what cut they are taking from the rewards, their commission rate, right? So you can then, I think this is the main feature of how SWELL plans to boost yields, because hey, there will be some transparent competition between the nodes. Whereas over here, the nodes maybe they have all set the same, they've all agreed on some number, or there's some sort of governance vote that sets the commission rate for all of them, so it's fair. But here there's an open market, so a node operator might decrease his commission rate in order to attract capital to his node. And then there's also someone who's got a very good track record and has a very good knowledge base and so forth. He might increase his commission rate because he's more secure, more safe, and more reliable in that sense. So this is all interesting, right? Next part I would like to talk about are the rewards. So when these nodes do write to the beacon chain, right, then they produce rewards, right? So Ethereum is minted and given to incentivize these nodes and the stakers and the delegators to these nodes, right? So over here we have several options. Okay, so the Ethereum rewards will go to the staking protocol, right? So in this case, CEAZOR's Liquid 2 staking protocol, and there could be two possible things. Okay, so number one, they might rebase based on this token. So this token might be rebasing, so your balance just continues to go up, right? Now this is great, but it also can create some issues with money Legos. Like rebasing tokens aren't very friendly when it comes to DeFi applications and so forth. And you'll see a lot of places where it's like, hey, don't try to put rebasing tokens in here. Okay, so then they have to build a wrapper on top of the rebasing and so forth. Or some of them just say, oh, we'll hold the rewards for now, and you come back later and you can get them. So then this token becomes more like a share token that is increasing in value based on the earning interest that is accumulating inside this protocol here. Now, over here, this token, remember I said this token and this token are pegged 1-to-1. So 1 ETH goes in, you get 1 of these SWELL ETHs, right? SW ETH, right? And the rewards are sent to the NFT, okay? So the rewards are collected inside the NFT, and then users can interact with the NFT to pull out the ETH when they feel there's enough or the time is appropriate for dollar bill here. So it's much easier to hold a peg when you know that these two tokens are definitely worth 1-to-1, and it's easy to just do that. So this is pretty interesting. I like this. Now, the next part here is what can we do with these these SWELL ETH, right? These SW ETH. Now, there's definitely going to be these pools, right? These version 3 pools. They say in their articles or somewhere that they're going to use Uniswap version 3 first. However, they will also start to look at Balancer and Curve Finance as well. And you could provide liquidity directly to these. However, Swell is going to build these vaults where I can just all in one place, all on one website. I can stake, I can get my Swell ETH, I can get my NFT, and I can just stake my ETH, my Swell ETH into the vault. And then the vault will distribute them to the highest yielding and balance all of these out through the devs inside. So it's trying to make it very user friendly, very easy for the participant to just, get some Swell ETH, stick it in the vault, and then earn higher interest rate. So this is the second way that they're going to be able to earn a higher interest rate, because they're going to be able to manage a lot of this liquidity. So liquidity pools and rewards on these liquidity pools and so forth are not diluted by, mercenary people as much. There will still be mercenaries because these are permissionless. However, if I just stake my ETH in here, they can divvy it up according to where the best yield will be, right? If everyone's here, then maybe they will take my ETH and put it in here. So this vault will be able to possibly get more yield. And then there are also possibly some other use cases beyond the liquidity pools, maybe in Yearn Finance or something like this, okay? Now, there is a Swell token. I don't really like to talk too much about pre-sales and tokenomics and stuff like that. But there is a Swell token, and it is going to have a public sale soon. The date is not announced yet, so you'll have to follow their Twitter, follow their mediums, and watch out for that. Now, this governance token will just basically allow people to have Swell improvement proposals. So any kind of change to this system that needs to be changed, or maybe some sort of strategies for this vault and stuff like this. Now, I'm speculating it. There's nowhere where it says clearly that this is the case, but think of it like a governance token for voting on the system, the operation of this stuff, and maybe the reduction of 16 ETH down and so forth like this. Now, there is this article here that says introducing SWELL Network, and you can come in here and you can kind of see how the Swell DAO token, the SW DAO token, which is the Swell token governance token, has been distributed already a little bit, the pre-sales, the tokenomics and stuff like that. Now, like I said, I don't really like to talk too much about tokenomics. I feel that this is research that people should do, but I do feel I would be remiss to not mention that they do have a public sale coming up in the future. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.